Greetings, y'all. So, I did a poll like a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week or so ago, I don't remember, where I asked if anyone deals with feeling stuck when it comes to starting new things or taking leaps of faith or something along the lines of that. I don't really remember, but um, I wanted to do a discussion on that, but I'm like, I didn't really feel like it needed to be this long drawn out discussion and all of that, because I kind of did want to leave it to be like open discussion, have y'all like call in and stuff. But um I just feel like more so this is just to encourage someone, and on top of that, a little bit about experience. Like, we all as humans deal with challenges in life. It's never going to go away, and of course, we could be in the midst of it right now. And the number one thing that typically causes a person to feel stuck when it comes to starting new things or to make a change is usually our mindset. If you want to look at it just from a practical perspective or sense, that, mentally it's a fear, it could be self-doubt, it could be that you're, looking at the circumstances around you. And on the spiritual level, this can still tie into mindset as well and your perception of things. Oftentimes when we feel stuck, it's usually something within the self, like a fear that is stemmed from a deeper root that tells us that this is not going to be easy or I can't. And just when you're on the brink of it, it's like something snatches you and pulls you right back into it. And I notice that oftentimes, like, we'll pray for or seek out an opportunity for a change or for a blessing to come. And when it presents itself, we self-sabotage it knowingly and unknowingly. And sometimes we have to learn for ourselves, because a person can tell us like, hey, I see where your blockages are. You can do this. I encourage you, you have the ability to do this, you can do that. But if you don't believe it, it's not really going to settle in you, within you. I notice this a lot, like, about myself sometimes, that, we have to overcome our own insecurities, because it's really what it is. It's the fears, it's insecurities, it's a spiritual, hindrance there, like, that keeps you in that place, that loop, that cycle. And that's really what it is. And to go back into that place of comfort and hiding, or telling yourself, oh, it's not worth the effort anyway, it's never going to happen, those are lies. Those are self-deceptions. Those are, spirit of deception or self-sabotage. I notice a lot that when I would help certain people or friends or family or whatever, I would have people come to me with their problems and ask me, for advice, or they would want me to do like a reading or something. And oftentimes we already know the answer to our problems. And I found that sometimes what people do is, like, they'll know the answer, they'll get it, but that self-sabotage comes in and causes them to, due to our own pride sometimes, due to pride, we'll go ahead and repeat the same cycle, because it's like, no, I know better than this, or, oh no, I want this thing so bad. The biggest thing that I get advice from people that, or come to me for advice or for reading about, is love. They'll ask me about a guy or whatever, right? And I'll tell them, this person may not be good for you, or I don't think you should do that. And they'll agree, or they'll, thank you, I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. But then they'll fall right back into it. And it can be frustrating sometimes, especially when they flip it on you and you're the enemy. Because it's like, why are you trying to judge me? And it's like, sis, I ain't judging you. The problem is with that is, like, when you involve people in your situations where you say you want help and you ask for the help and you receive it, but you repeat those same cycles. And for the people on the opposite end of this, where you try to help people, you can only help people as much as they want to help themselves. And you'll know this from personal experience as well, where people can only help you. People can tell you until they're blue in the face that, you know, you're this, you're amazing, you're that, you could do this, you're capable, blah, 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 blah. But if you don't believe that about yourself, it's not really going to hold much weight until it's that time where you snap into that mode where, okay, I'm going to leap into faith. I'm going to, because the snap of that cord on your back that keeps you from moving forward, the thing that's going to snap that rope off of you is when you do something different than you've done before. You're going to keep repeating the same cycles, and that is a form of insanity. So it is something going on mentally, emotionally within the self, within a person that constantly does the same thing over again and expects a different result for themselves. So every time that you get to that place where you want to start something new, but then that doubt comes in and you feed it, you give it life and you believe it, you repeat that same cycle again. But until you do something different and say, no, I'm not giving into that fear, I'm not giving into that insecurity or that mindset or that perspective that keeps me hindered, that's when you break that cord off of your back. That's when you break the cord off of your back. Nobody can tell you different until you believe it for yourself. That's why I step back now. Like when people ask me things, you know what do you think about this? Or can you help me with this? And then when you help them, and it gets frustrating when you see them doing the same thing over again. And I imagine that I've probably been frustrating to some people that have tried to help me. But it's really when you're ready. And a person that self-sabotages themselves, it is an inner conflict thing that person really has to work through within themselves. And sometimes it doesn't have to be this deep thing where you sit in a corner and you cry and you self-reflect for hours and days and months and weeks and years. But it's just a simple shift in the mindset, or saying, I'm doing something different, or I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fall into that again. It's all it really takes. And I notice on a spiritual level how this thing works is usually oftentimes, when you're on the brink of a new beginning or a breakthrough or a change, or let's say you start a class to help you with your business, or just a class just for educational purposes, something you're passionate about, or if it's going to the gym, or whether it's cutting off toxic, people in your life. When you're on the brink of making those changes, there's this thing that creeps in that is meant to instill fear in you. And that's how you know you're dealing with something spiritual there, because it's like you have the desire to do it. As soon as you sign up for that class, or you're about to cut this person off, they call you back and then they say something that pulls you back in. Or you say to yourself, oh, I might not be able to start that class because I don't know if I'll be able to manage the time. Or you want to start for, gym membership, or change something about your fitness, and then you say to yourself, no, but I'm too embarrassed, I don't want to go, and I never really stick things out, and blah blah blah. Like all these excuses or all these reasons why, or these distractions will pop in. That's how you know you're battling something deeper. So once you get to that place where you're about to initiate it and that thing tries to creep up and sabotage it or convince you not to, that you have to silence that. That's when you silence that inner critic, or that thing that tries to yoke you back, to keep you restricted, to keep you stuck, to keep you hidden. So another thing as well is where we try to keep ourselves in the background and hide ourselves. And I'm not necessarily speaking from a place of where you have to be exalted and be famous and be seen and be noticed, but some people won't even allow themselves to show up in life and be a contribution to the world in some way, or the environment and world around them, because of their own inner insecurities and fears. And that lie creeps in. That is how you know that there's something spiritually that is holding you back, keeping you from excelling and moving forward in life and seeing yourself as you really are. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but y'all probably catch my drift. And it's sad sometimes because some people are so spiritually oppressed by things, deeper things, where you want to call it spiritual beings, entities, demons, lower vibrational frequencies, whatever. Some people are so stuck in this trauma space where when they're getting help, it feels like they're being attacked. And it's like like people's demons be having them in a dungeon like Christian Grey, like where you just bound up and you just can't get free of that. And it's sad because you can only help people so much. And again, sometimes it's just a matter of time, where people just need that time to wake themselves up and be like, okay, I'm tired, I'm done with this. But you can't, one of the most frustrating things for me ever was helping people with love and relationships, and then I would be like, you know what, I can't help you. I can't. Like, you're coming to me. It's one thing for somebody to be just dealing with it and you kind of insert yourself trying to help them, but it's a difference when someone is coming to you asking you for help. And I get frustrated, but I have to learn to have that compassion for people, because I know that, probably I've been frustrating to people that have tried to be there and support me and love me, because we can be caught up in our own mind sometimes, in our own mental prison. But I would get so frustrated with people that would ask me to help them, and when I would, give them the guidance, and you do what you want with it. But this is the thing that I don't find to be healthy, and it's disrespectful to do this to people, is yes, you can make your own decisions, your own choices. At the end of the day, you have free will, but to keep utilizing somebody's energy to help you, to give you advice and guidance, and especially those that not just give guidance and advice from their own experience and their own opinions, but they're allowing themselves to be a divine vessel to help you. So it's not just coming out of them, it's coming from a higher source. Especially if you ask for it, you're praying for guidance, and then someone comes to you and then you kind of throw it in their face. That's very disrespectful, and that's very dangerous. And why I say that it's dangerous is because some people will be sent to help you free yourself of the very thing that's keeping you from your breakthrough and your blessing. But because of your own pride and your own ego, or your own need to be right and to live out your fleshly desires, you want something so bad, or you want to be mad at the world, or you want this man or this woman so bad that you're willing to play yourself and to keep sleeping with this person and try to convince different, and then you snap at the people. Because I've had this happen to me, and it's very, very painful, and it's very disrespectful. Not just to me, but a slap in the face to God or your spiritual team, your ancestors, or whatever, because deep down within your spirit that something is not right, and you're asking for a change. You want to know the truth of a situation, and then when you get it, you get upset about it, and then you snap at the very people that try to help you. This is how you know that either yourself or someone else is under some type of spiritual bondage, spiritual oppression, because you're being given the key to how to free yourself, but instead of taking the key and freeing yourself, that stronghold on you is like, nah, we ain't taking it. And that pride and that ego needs to be removed. It needs to be silenced. It needs to be put down, like, for real. That's the number one thing that keeps people in spiritual bondage and oppression, is pride, stubbornness. And it's like, you can't tell me nothing. You can't. Who are you to? It's the pride. It's the stubbornness. It's the it's another word it's on the tip of my tongue. Because this is something that we have to cast down out of ourselves, is that need to be right, that bitterness, that self-righteousness. Thank you, Spirit. It's like self-righteousness, and we can all have a tendency to do that. And then another thing that I've noticed too, with like self-love and all of that, sometimes that can get to a place of selfishness, where it's all about self and me and what I want. And then sometimes you find yourself not being compromising, or not sacrificing your own selfish needs sometimes. Like self-love, that whole journey and this whole topic around self-love and choosing yourself, and it can kind of borderline get into that place of selfishness and self-centered energy, and a little bit of Again, pridefulness, stubbornness, self-righteousness. And I had this revelation the other day, like, nobody's perfect, and I will gladly admit when I'm wrong about things, no matter how it hurts, because for a long time I struggled with that spirit of stubbornness and not wanting to bend on things. And but there's a part of me too that I don't want to be stuck in my own, I don't want to be in my own way. So eventually I'll break down and be like, you know what, I have to admit, like, this is not right, this ain't cool, like, I don't want to move like this, you know what I mean? So it really comes down to, are you willing to die to the self, that part of yourself that is blocking you and hindering you? It's really just a conscious decision, and sometimes you might need spiritual assistance with that, or people around you will help you, but you can't slap the hand that is, you know, extending itself to you. You can't do that. So for those of you that feel stuck, you have to sit with yourself and identify, why do you think that you're stuck, or what are the thoughts, the feelings, or the emotions, or whatever that arises when you're about to initiate new things, or when you tell yourself, I want to change. What is it that's stopping you? Because that's where the spiritual oppression lies. And some of you, like I said, it very well could be pride, stubbornness, and ego. It could be the fear. The number one way, again, to snap that thing off of you is to do the opposite of what you've always done, so that you can break the cycle. And if you're too far gone with yourself, where you can't even take healthy criticism, you can't accept correction, a loving correction, where you think that every time somebody tells you like something is off, or, you know, this is something about you that I notice that might need healing, is coming from a place of love, you snap, you get upset, you get offended easily. You got to deal with that. You really have to deal with that within yourself. That's not cool. It shouldn't be, no one can never help you, or no one can ever tell you, like, we're not perfect beings. We don't have it all figured out. We might have some wisdom about things, and there's certain things that we still need to learn, and we can learn from other people. Never be too prideful for growth and change, or so stubborn that no one can help you. Trust me and believe when I tell you, like, I know firsthand what that's like, being with it, being me, going through it with myself, and dealing with people like that as well. So I hope this was helpful, because like I said, I was like, I'm gonna do a live discussion and stuff, but I don't feel like it's really needed, at least not right now. And if you guys would like me to like expand on it, or where you feel like it should be an open discussion, then let me know. But other than that, like, I really need to consider my energy, because I feel like I overextend sometimes on here, and I need breaks in between time, like, especially with social media and stuff. It's like I need breaks from, you know, constantly doing and constantly extending and sharing and pouring into. Like, I have to take that time out to pour into myself as well. So yeah. I hope this was helpful, you guys. Much love as always. Peace.